I think it's significant for young people to understand there'll be two areas. Hopefully they'll get a benefit from helping them as well.
Okay. And how many boys or how many girls have you got it set up on that, or just going to be 60 or 70, you said?
Well, it's going to be 60 or 70. Normally, it's going to be broken down. We hopefully in between 50%, you know, in each of them having an opportunity. But I would probably say in this type of situation, from my experience, having taken other young people on international trips and nationally, that you'd be surprised. We normally get about, I'd say, you know, 60% female and maybe 40%, but you know, we'll get a number of young men who will be going with us.
And what are the age group?
Age group will range from 12 to 18. That'll be in terms of the Ambassadors for Change. And when I say the Ambassadors for Change, these young people will be designated with the responsibility as well as with the support to go with a specific message, specific training. So each of these young people, as I talk about the program a little bit more in our show, we'll talk about how they'll go through more of a 6-month training program as they get ready.
I was going to ask you that.
Yeah, as they get
because
ready
if they're
for-
not ready, they shouldn't be going.
Yeah, so each of those who get selected, there's a process for them to get selected. They'll each have to write an essay talking about why they want to go, why they want to be a part of this program. As our board begins to select them, they'll then be able to go out and then they go through a 6-month program where on, you know, at least once a week we begin to discuss with them, give them culture, background. We'll also talk about what the do's and don'ts and what they can do as it relates to this trip.
You know, there's going to be a lot of teen pregnancy over there too.
There is a lot of teen pregnancy
a
there.
lot, and HIV is running rampant.
Absolutely.
So the girls need to know about this teen pregnancy thing.
And one of the things that we're doing is we're training our young people to be able to share a message, particularly to teenagers and young people. I believe the most powerful message that young people normally will get will be from other young people.
Yes.
And so we know this message is not only for the United States, it's a universal message. And so we want them to be in the position and the opportunity that they can begin to share that message of being able to know what it means to remain abstinent until marriage, what it means for you to be able to find other ways to be able to not only help yourself, but be able to really uplift yourself. And so we'll talk about that message when we go.
But like I feel too, when you once take these children over there who have never been, and who in the United States, you may have some poverty with some of the kids you work with, but to go into Africa and see how bad it can be and learn to come back, and they will appreciate more, I think, what they have here than what they have
absolutely,
over there.
I
think
agree.
it will be a massive change on them, I really do.
Well, thank you. I think so. We hope so.
I think it will be. I have good feelings about this for you. I really do.
Well, I appreciate it so much.
Because I see things with my eyes, but also in my heart.
Good. Well, we're excited about the opportunity. And what we want young people to know is that this is an opportunity for them, and just not only for these young people, but it'll be an opportunity for those who might not necessarily get part of the Ambassadors for Change. They can still go. We'll have a cost for them that they can still go. Parents, we're saying that they can still obviously go. We're expecting probably about 100 plus people to be with us on this particular outreach trip. So we're looking for an opportunity for this to be really an expansive chance to really highlight what really Prince George's County can do with its young people. We're excited about the fact that we think we have some of the best and brightest, even within Prince George's County, to be able to showcase on the world stage.
Children are number one.
Yes, we do agree. We do have that agreement for sure.
That's number one, because even a little toddler, when they learn to talk and what they see, it's going to take them.
Yes.
But I have a great niece. I'm going to get off this thing for just a moment. She just turned 8. When she was about 2 years old, well, she was about 7 days old when I brought her to my house. I wanted to have her with me for a while. And all through this time, I have told her, you are a woman one day. You are a wonderful human being. God loves you. You have to love yourself. And Aunt Rose, that's my middle name, Rose. I said, Aunt Rose is going to be here to help you. So a few months ago, she received an outstanding award for her first drawing in 2nd grade through the George Washington School of Art for the #1 picture.
Fantastic.
So she is, I mean, you've just got to talk to these children. You've got to show them.
Absolutely. I agree 100%.
Do you agree on that? Well,
Oh,
I'm so
absolutely.
glad.
Thank you.
Children,
Yes.
they're our future.
Sure.
And
Absolutely.
what gave you this idea? What put you in this walk that you're going to be taking?
Well, I think that
It's a lot of work.
it is a lot of work. I think that what happens, though, I think that, you know, again, have my background as working with young people. One of the things I understood is that, you know, young people become, you know, we normally from the church look at young people, particularly within the church, and even
When you say young, how young?
well, I'm talking
8,
about
9,
young.
10?
Well, I'm talking about even 12. I'm talking particularly even teenagers, those who are kind of in the position they're kind of now moving and doing their thing. But we still look at them as the church of tomorrow. We look at them as the society of tomorrow. Part of that is true, but the reality of it is their concerns are today. And so one of the reasons that really sparked me to start Reach One was this idea that we have to have organizations to support young people today, not only for their benefit, but for our benefit.
So did you just have an awakening yourself and just
I
decide
would say I like that. I like the show, The Awakening. I thought
Yes.
that was it was more of an awakening, an understanding that this is
Right.
kind of where the direction that God was moving me for to be able to do that.
That's why my boy was murdered, to get me into doing what I'm doing.
Well, I think, yeah, unfortunately, sometimes in the midst of life, I believe that certain tragedies happen and that allow us to transition. And I do know about tragedy and triumph in life and understand those aspects as well. And again, to that very same point, having lost a spouse in that very
I have
same
too.
aspect,
I've lost a spouse as well.
that you have that same aspect that can, again, awaken you to a new destiny of what it is God has
But
you
it's
to do.
kind of really, I'm going to say hell, because when you lose your spouse, you've lost half of you.
That is true.
You know, you don't know who you are anymore. I don't have to cook if I don't want to get up and
Right.
cook. I don't have to clean. I don't have to do anything because I'm all alone. I felt like my whole job as a woman was taken away when he died after open heart surgery. What were your feelings?
Well, I definitely think that that's obviously the case. I think that you definitely become, you know, they say there's a part of you that passes away, and no question that's the case. One of the awakening moments for me was as I went through that with my wife, was the understanding that there's also a part of you that has to awaken and resurrect. And so there's a part of me, there's a, as I say, as she went to glory, there was a part of me that went with her.
And a part of you that died.
But then there's also a new part of me. I don't think I would be who I am today
I wouldn't be
had
either.
it not been for my wife of 17 years. So I look at it from that context that she was obviously someone that God knew that I needed, and believe me, I needed for those years that allowed me to really grow to become who I am.
Yeah, she helped you along the way. Maybe
Oh,
you didn't
absolutely.
even maybe you didn't even realize it. I don't know.
Oh no, I realized it.
Did you
Oh
realize it?
yes, oh
Yeah.
yes, oh absolutely, absolutely.
I just know, like I said, I've lost both my boys, and that's very painful to lose
Absolutely,
two boys.
absolutely.
But you know, life goes on, and as long as I can work with the children, I'm happy.
Well, I think that out of any loss, and any loss can be tragic, and there's no, again, as you have stated before, there is nothing greater, there's nothing more hurtful than losing a child and a spouse.
Right.
In those aspects. But I think in the midst of hurt, God can awaken us to really where He wants us to go and to do. And I think that in the motivating factor that you have so you know stated for me, it was one of the motivating factors. As a matter of fact, part of our ministry, part of the educational component piece, I have a fund. I have a scholarship fund that we have set up and that we're giving out 2 scholarships this year. Looking to move that in June, where we'll have the Monica Faith Shepherd Scholarship Fund.
Okay.
And it'll be, and it's posted on my website, but it'll be there for young people who are looking to go to Bowie State University, our alma mater, right here in Prince George's County, and also those who want to be a teacher. We do have a scholarship fund for those 2 scholarships that we've set up within that. And so we're giving out $2,500 per year for up to 4 years.
That's wonderful.
Going to BSU, and then we're giving out $1,500 per year for those to be a teacher.
That's wonderful. It's really, really wonderful. Before we end the end of the show, I want to tell you something. A lot of people they don't know. When my son Richard was murdered, no one knew who took him out. No one knew what happened to him. So about 2 days after he had died, I was awakened to this beautiful bright light. And walking through that bright light was my son Richard. He says, "Mom, I'm all right. I'm with your best friend God." He told me, as God is my witness, who killed him, why he was taken out there, and he says, "Mom, they're going to cross over in the morning to Canada. You've got to get to the detective. I don't want them to get away." He says, 9 o'clock, "Mom, they're going to cross." 8:45 the next morning, the police caught him right at crossing over into Canada. My son came back to tell me That has gotten me through all of this, and there is a better place in here. There is that bright
Right.
light. There is a heaven, there is a hell.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
But my son, even in that coffin, he had a half grin on his face. My son was at peace. And stabbed 13 times in the back.
Well, again, and you're
God-
absolutely correct.
God gave me that.
And that's absolutely correct, that there is a better, and I think that's at the end of the day, you're absolutely correct. There's a better day, there's a better place.
Yes.
And that the reality of life is that all of us, even in the midst of all that we're going through,
Right.
will one day prayerfully be to that point. And so definitely bless you for that testimony, but that is so true.
That's good for people, and there is a God, and there is that bright light.
Yes.
There is it. And when my son walked through it, that took some of my heart pain right away.
Right.
And so I think, we've got a few more minutes to go here. Oh, that's something I love to share, because so many people, there's no God, there's no bright light, there's no this, but there is. I saw it.
Right. Oh, I agree. And one of the things that we share, you know, again, when I look at what we're doing with Reach One, we're really talking about that whole concept of being able to share. You know, when we say the gospel, we're talking about the good news.
Yes.
You know, the good news of Jesus Christ coming as a way for salvation, and that salvation gives us eternal life.
Right.
And so we are part of our entire ministry. Our whole ministry is built on the premise of the good news of Jesus Christ. And so that's where I think the foundation that I have, it's the foundation where my organization has, because we're believers in the understanding that that is the only changing message, not only for our people here, but for the entire world.
You seem to enjoy what you're doing.
Well, thank you. It is, as you pointed out, and you said it best, it is definitely hard work, no question
It's a lot
about
of hard work.
But it is a joy in knowing that that you are impacting the lives of young people, and more importantly, you're impacting the lives of hopefully communities and hopefully even countries to make a difference.
I remember I had one little boy who was in Cheltenham, and I got him a job when he got out at Bob Evans. He started out cleaning toilets. Now he's a head cook. He makes $17 an hour. And he says, Mom, you saved my life. So these children don't call me Angela or Angela Brown. It's Mom. And every once in a while, I'll get an envelope in the mail with $1. Here, Mom, this is for you. Go out and buy yourself a cup of coffee. I know you can use it.
Well,
it's just these little ways.
Absolutely.
You can take a child and save them.
Yes, I agree.
They
And I
tell
think
me
that you're
no.
so correct. And that's probably the biggest, I'm sure for you, the biggest gift and the benefit.
It really has. Can you believe our 30 minutes has just gone by?
Wow, so quickly.
It goes quickly when God's riding with us.
All right. So
I want to
much.
thank you for coming, and I know
problem.
we're going to do another show in a few moments.
Thank you.
Thanks for watching. I do hope you enjoy this half an hour. I have had a wonderful time doing it. Thank you.